It's time now for Talk at 10 with Bert Fall. Talk at 10 is heard Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. here on WPCR and WPIB Radio and features guests from our area excelling in their business or organization, local government officials, and those making news around our area. And now here's Bert Fall with this morning's Talk at 10 here on WPCR and WPIB.
Good morning, I'm Bert Fall, and you're listening to Talk at 10 on WPCR, PortClintonRadio.com, also heard on our affiliate station, WPIB, Put-in-Bay-Radio.com. Well, we're going to be talking about a great event that's been going on the past couple of years here in Ottawa County. We've been covering it live, and we're excited to be able to do it again this year, and that's the Ottawa County Business Advisory Council's Career Showcase. It's going to be taking place out at Camp Perry, and it's a really great event because it gives our area youth an opportunity to see what kinds of jobs are out there specifically in Ottawa County. I know it was a real eye-opener for me a few years ago when I first went to it, and we did a live broadcast from there just to see what we have in our county. And a lot of times people don't really realize the industry that we have here. So joining us today to talk about that is two representatives from OCIC, the Ottawa County Improvement Corporation. They're going to be talking about it, and that's Jamie Byer-Grant and Kay Winterfield. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. First of all, let's talk about real quick because I was confused by it, but tell us a little bit about the relationship between OCIC and the Business Advisory Council.
Sure. So OCIC is the county's economic and workforce development agency. And we work mostly with the business community in trying to help with any sort of capital investments that companies are doing. And then we also work on the other side with the workforce component in working with our businesses to identify job openings that they have, skill sets that are necessary to take those job openings. And now we are also overseeing and administering the Ohio Means Jobs Center at the Resource Center in Oak Harbor, where we're working one-on-one with the job seekers to better connect them to the different job openings that we have in the community. So, being a founding member of the Business Advisory Council is right in our wheelhouse, since we are obviously charged with understanding the job opportunities that are available today and also the job opportunities that we're going to be having available in the next 5 to 7 years with retirements in the existing workforce and kind of the change in the dynamic of our employment landscape in the county. So being a partner and being one of the initial organizations to help establish the Business Advisory Council is something that we feel is really going to have some long-term impact in trying to keep our young people here, to develop a pipeline of our workforce for the future, and hopefully grow the community with those students that are here now in our high schools and choose to stay in careers here within Ottawa County.
I know that was sort of the impetus behind this entire career showcase. I know we've talked about it before, and I know personally, having grown up here, that a lot of the people that I grew up with went someplace else. It has been a big problem for our county for decades, and that's people go off to college and then they get jobs in Columbus or Cleveland or someplace all around the country, but they don't come back here, at least until they retire. So
sure.
We want to try and keep some people here and develop our workforce here as well. And to fill some of the jobs that the county has. And that's the idea behind the Career Showcase.
Yes. We really want to bring high school students, primarily ninth graders, together with the business community, and they can actually see what the businesses do, and they engage in activities with the businesses to really demonstrate the different types of skill sets that are necessary for the job openings that we have in the community. And our hope is that the ninth grade students have experiences that help them to maybe hone in on what their interests are in life after high school, and use this experience as a way to build onto other opportunities to really explore their career outlets. And by the time they're a junior or senior in high school, that they have just a better feel for where their interests are and what they want to do after high school, whether it's a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, getting a certificate, or entering the workforce right away and trying to grow their knowledge and their experience, possibly within some of our employers. Why
was the ninth grade level chosen for this and not, say, a 10th, 11th, or 12th grade?
We chose the ninth grade. We were strategic about choosing the ninth grade students. When most of the students in the county are in ninth grade, they're doing tours of the joint vocational schools within their respective home school. So we saw the career showcase as a way to tag onto those tours of the joint vocational schools so that kids can explore what sorts of programs are available at each JVS and then tie that back to the different types of companies that we have in Ottawa County. So, for instance, someone might be interested in automotive or welding or robotics, and they may have done a tour of the joint vocational school and really like the robotics component to, Penta or Vanguard, and then they see how robotics are used in Materion or, at Davis Besse, or within like a Northern Manufacturing, and they're able to make that connection that I really liked that career experience I had at the showcase. And I remember that there was a really cool robotics program at Vanguard. And I really think that that's what my interest is. And I think I want to try and pursue that as I move into 10th grade. So it's kind of trying to be a building block to some of the other experiences that the kids are having in high school currently, So touring a joint vocational school helps to build awareness. The career showcase helps to build additional awareness of what, a student's interests are. And then as they look at 10th grade and beyond, they can try and build off of those previous experiences as they move through the rest of their high school years.
Sure. Otherwise, you'd be a senior. You go to the career showcase and find out all this great opportunities out there, and you realize that you could have been training for it for the past 2 years.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that makes a lot of sense then. With that, this is the third year for the program, right?
Yes.
The third year for the career showcase. I was going to ask you, if you had any, buddy going into those careers, but those kids the first year would only be 11th grade by now, right? So, do you have any idea about any of those going, like leaning towards a vocational career, like at a Materion or something like that?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that are going on with the kids. To date, we've had just over 1,200 students that have gone through and experienced the Career Showcase. This year, we're expecting another 600 plus. We have all 6 school districts from within Ottawa County that are participating again this year. And we do have a couple of success stories that we know of right now. Of kids who use the Career Showcase experience as a way to build some ideas on what they want to do in life after high school. The other thing that we're seeing, though, is we're seeing some of the businesses really get engaged in trying to take it one step further. And I'll give you the example of Materion over in Elmore. They have what they call a START camp. It's a skilled trades apprenticeship readiness training program. It's a summer camp that they do for kids in, help me out, Gay, 10th and 11th grade?
I think they expanded it all the way, though.
All the way to 9th through 12th grade. The first year they did it, I think they had around 15 kids. And then this is the second year that they've done it, and they had a waiting list of students. So they had well over 25 kids that were in the program. So we're seeing some traction build up in some of these external programs that the companies are doing. And the Business Advisory Council is supporting those efforts, both from a marketing and communication standpoint, but also we're helping to fund some of those organizations or some of these efforts so that the students can participate at no cost to them and trying to be a good partner with the businesses, because we recognize how much the workforce issue is out there, not just for job seekers, but for our companies alike. And then as far as getting back to your original question about some of those metrics with individual students, yes, we have seen some of those, and especially with the 11th and 12th grade students. We know of one student that came to the Career Showcase when they were actually a senior in high school, and they were really leaning towards doing something with the Red Horse and the Air National Guard, but weren't really sold on it, I would say. And a lot of it was, I think, partly not knowing, once they were in the National Guard, what they could do with that. And so they came to the Career Showcase. They met with some of the Red Horse representatives that were out there. They saw some of the other career opportunities, what businesses in the county were doing, and it really helped, I think, to solidify their decision to join the Red Horse and the Air National Guard, and then really look at heavy equipment operator and other type of like mechanic type of career paths that they wanted to do, and that's what they're pursuing. They just graduated and are now looking to pursue the education side. They just had come out of the basic training and graduated from the Air Force, and now are in school, doing kind of what they had set out to do. And I know Gay, has experience with another student that, we've been working with and know about. I'll let her talk about that.
Another student, decided that, actually the teachers had decided to send, this young man when he was a junior to the Career Showcase our very first year. He wasn't really sure of what his career path was going to be. So they went ahead and sent him, and he had an experience with the vendors that were there, the exhibitors, the businesses. And from that point on, then he was kind of dabbling in the tool and die area or the welding area or the CNC area. So continuing out through his junior and senior year, we were able to set him up with some job shadow opportunities with some companies in Ottawa County. Then he was able to narrow it down and say, you know what, I really love welding. This is something that I really want to pursue. And he actually then decided to sign up and go to Hobart Institute of Welding Technology in Troy, Ohio. And there's a waiting list there. So he is going to go to school there starting this coming January. And actually, for now, he started at Owens and is pursuing their welding program as well. So, and then he'll go and specialize at in the welding trade at Hobart.
Wow, so, that's a great, that's a great story to go along with this. I mean, there's sort of a gap in skilled trades.
Correct.
And here's a way to introduce our area youth into jobs that are readily available, and get them a little heads up. And obviously, this young man is making it happen, and that's amazing. And
I'd like to just thank our business community for allowing these students to come out and do job shadows and to do an internship experience, because we know that it takes away a little bit from their productivity. But many of them are realizing that they have to start investing in that next generation of workforce, because we are missing that skilled trades and manufacturing piece. So for them to actually invest in these students, I think will pay off in the future.
Absolutely. And it's an investment in our community.
Correct.
Yes.
Too. These are high paying jobs. And if you can train people who grew up here to stay here, then you're really bettering the entire community for it. That's
correct.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
You had mentioned a couple of exhibitors that show up on a pretty regular basis. I guess we can say now it's in its third year. But I guess list off some of them. Materiana is of course going to be there. Who else do you expect to see this year?
Well, when we looked at the types of businesses that we wanted to have exhibit at the showcase, we really wanted to make sure that we had good representation from the different industry sectors in the county. Manufacturing is a major industry sector for us. The tourism and hospitality industry is big. And then healthcare was another one, and agriculture as well, were the areas that we had identified as the major industry sectors in the county. So we do have great representation from the manufacturing community. We have, we mentioned Materion, Davis Bessie and First Energy have participated in the past, as well as some of their contractors. Day and Zimmerman is one of them. That's a big contractor out at the plant who's come year after year, and I think sometimes they enjoy it just as much as the kids do. So that's great to see. We have Graymont Dolheim in the manufacturing realm, Northern Manufacturing, and C. Nelson. Ackerman Industrial Equipment out in the Curtis area is going to be there. If you look to, Adfilm is another one. We could go through. We have about close to 20 businesses that are going to be there. Genoa Bank is going to be there to give a financial perspective.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a nice addition.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting for them to see the financial aspect of the world. And Genoa Bank has such a big presence in Ottawa County that they're a great representative. Yes, absolutely, and growing.
They just installed a branch here next to our office. And as for what I understand, they're going to be building a new building out there. So that's exciting.
Yep, I think there's some exciting news that'll be coming down the pike, hopefully later this year for them. But then we have, the Jet Express is going to be there. We'll have some marine representation as well with marinas and boat motors and work, in the marine engine industry is big for us. Magruder Hospital has been a mainstay for us, and their engagement activities just keep getting better and better as the years go on. And this year, we have the Genoa Retirement Village. So that gives you kind of a big picture of who we're going to have there. The Red Horse will be there. I think the Army National Guard, we're trying to get them to be out there as well.
I can talk to some kids for you if you want.
Yeah.
I'll talk them into it.
Maybe you can help man the booth,
I got a number
Bert.
for a recruiter for them.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell them Bert sent you.
And Catawba Island Club, they've been a great supporter of the Business Advisory Council effort over the last 3.5 years. So we're expecting
They had a great
them.
display last year. I remember sort of covering the hospitality sector
Yeah, they
of
did.
our economy. That was really nice.
Yeah, the first year they had kids build a fruit tree they made almost like a palm tree out of pineapples, and then kids got to build the fruit tree and then eat the fruit, which was fun because we heard some kids say that they had never had kiwi or fresh pineapple before. So, and then last year I think they had races to set dining room tables. So that was kind of funny to see the kids do that. And the big question was, should we bring plasticware or can we actually bring real china? So nothing was broken. Nothing was broken that year. But yeah, so to kind of get a sense of the kinds of things that the businesses are doing out there, they're not just setting up a booth and handing out literature.
Mm-hmm.
They're having the kids do activities like the races to set the table or building a fruit tree. Graymont Dolheim does the team building exercise where they do hula hoop races. And then last year we had the sheriff's department out there, and that was really cool because the kids got to.
I remember that.
Yeah, they got to put on the different types of
like the tactical gear.
The tactical gear, yeah, thank you. The tactical gear, and then they were out there kind of running around seeing what it was like to wear that tactical gear and have to maneuver around. Materion has a pretty big exhibit with robotics equipment and CNC, and they have a safety station. And USG was out there last year. They're one of them that businesses is pretty busy for them right now. So they had to pass this year, but really had some engaging activities last year for kids to understand movement and how motion impacts equipment and the way machinery moves. And then the kids also get the opportunity to use the CMP firing range. And that is a great opportunity for kids. And one of the main missions of the civilian marksmanship program is to advocate and educate our youth on marksmanship skills and, obvious proper handling and that of firearms. So they have been gracious enough to host the Career Showcase for the last 3 years. They've been an incredible partner for us. We could not have put the event together without their support. But they have kids that come through there, and they'll probably have maybe 500 kids that will have the opportunity to learn about marksmanship and use the range out there. So there are just a lot of different things that kids have, the opportunity to be exposed to. And, we're excited again this year to see what the businesses come up with. It becomes kind of a competition for them to see who can outwit the other. Right? Yeah, with their engagement activities. So yeah, they've got some work cut out to try and outdo each other again this year, but that's something that's always, like I said, it's really really incredible to see how much the businesses put into the time and the resources to take time out of their day to come over and and be a participant in the showcase. So, it's a very meaningful experience, I think, all the way around for the businesses, for the students, for the school districts themselves, who are dealing with the career readiness legislation.
Absolutely.
And what that means, to their kids, and how they accomplish what the legislation set out to do. And then obviously for our organization, it's important for us to be able to bring those workforce opportunities to, our next generation of employees.
Absolutely. This really gives students a heads up on what to expect and really get ready. I remember when I was in school, talking to the guidance counselors, and at that point, you don't know really what you're going to do. And they were really heavy pushing college. It didn't matter
Sure.
what you were going to school for. You just had to go to school. But, I really wish that something like this had been around, for me, just to know what's out there. And, it's certainly helpful for a ton of kids. So it's going to be fantastic. This year, the event's going to be held, folks, on October the 7th. It's primarily for 9th grade students. So it's not really something that, you can stop by and check out, but, you can check it out on our website. WPCR is going to be there. We're going to be showing the kids about, some of the media opportunities.
Awesome.
Here in the area and how we operate things and how we can broadcast, stories about Port Clinton, Ohio or Marblehead or Genoa all over the world. So we're sort of there twofold. We're going to be there covering it and then also teaching kids about, media, in the area. So, we're excited about it. You're going to be able to tune in. We'll have more information on our Facebook page about, we're going to do a live video broadcast from there. And we'll update you with the times. But again, that's going to be on October 7th. But I'm looking forward to it. It's always great to kind of talk to some of the kids and see how they're doing. Some of them are a little shyer. I can always pick out the media people, the future media people.
Yeah. Well, and for those kids that are that are listening and might be in 9th grade and might be coming to the showcase, I think we're going to have a hashtag contest this year.
Go.
So taking their experiences at each of the different businesses, and we're going to be going around having them come up with some of the most creative hashtags for their experience and then tacking that on to.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we're trying to keep up with the times and really try and find creative ways, to market what we're doing and get the word out and get kids excited about it. So there's a lot of fun things that we have in store this year. So we're looking forward to seeing the kids.
I'd love to hear from some of the parents of the kids that have gone through it. Maybe I'll get a chance to talk to them at some point, but just to kind of see what some of their reactions were when they got home. You're introduced to all this stuff all at once. It's a lot to take in. Just walking through, this is going to be at the Anderson Complex at the Civilian Marksmanship Program, which is a huge building. But to be able to just walk through there and to see the different exhibitors, it's really pretty mind-blowing to see what we have in our own backyard, and we don't even really think about it most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's for a 9th grader, I imagine it can be a little overwhelming. Now, when they go back to the school, because they're there for a couple hours and then they go back to school, or so what? I guess, do you ever get any feedback from the kids as far as what they thought of it or anything like that, or is that pretty much at the school level?
I think one of the things, too, that you just kind of made me think of is we also try to have our students either before or after the career showcase do what's called an career interest survey. So they're taking a little survey test kind of thing before they come or right after. And that will also help them to either be prepared for what they're looking for or maybe cement what they experienced. I really enjoyed that welding. And wow, I took a career interest survey that says I would potentially be a good welder. So we're also hoping that the schools will take advantage and do that with their students. And then also we've talked in the past, and I don't know if the schools have done it or not, but maybe doing an experience paper where they just write a short essay about what they experienced, what they liked, what they didn't like. And I'll be real honest with you. We haven't really received anything per se on that, but I know that it was a discussion that we've had in the past with the schools.
That would be nice to get some of the feedback from that. I like the essay idea, just to kind of see, what they thought of the day when they're not around their friends.
Sure.
Something where they can sit down with a piece of paper and say, I actually really like this. Whereas, when I'm talking to them and there's 6 of their friends, making bunny ears and things like that to them, they're not going to open up like that. But, it would be interesting to see what they liked and what they didn't like.
Yeah, most of the feedback that we have gotten is through the schools and from their conversations with the students after the event has taken place. I will say, if you look at the faces of the students while they're there, about 95% of them are really enjoying themselves and are really getting into the different kinds of activities that they have. So just from enjoyment standpoint, I think I would probably get at least a 9 out of 10 on that. But to step away and have them really think about what they did participate in while they were there and what the takeaway was for them individually is something that we want to explore a little bit more. And the challenge is getting the word to our parents to say, look at these different career opportunities that are available. That's been a little bit of a tough nut to crack for us, but we think that it's about building momentum and just continuing to build awareness of what the effort of the Business Advisory Council is and what we're doing to try to elevate the work that the schools are doing and benefit the businesses at the same time. So we've challenged the kids the last couple of years to go home and tell their parents what they did today and what they liked the most out of the career showcase and what they learned about it. We've always encouraged them to get with their schools, get with the guidance counselors, if they have any more interests, that they'd like to pursue, in the years beyond just 9th grade.
And that's where the job shadows and the internships will come up, at that point. So I think, starting this job shadowing and internship program, this year, we're already having students showing interest. It's very, very low key right now. We haven't gotten a lot of students started, but it's the first semester of the first year. So, having those students interested in saying, hey, I really do want to go see, Northern Manufacturing because I want to know more about welding. Or I'm really interested in tool and die. Who can you set me up with so I can go check that out?
Right.
So we are having those inquiries through the schools. The students are going to their guidance counselors or teachers and making those requests, and then they're bringing those back to us, and we're trying to make those matches for those students so they can experience that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. I think that this is a great springboard in order to set kids up with the right information to help further their careers and further them here in Ottawa County, which is even better.
Yes.
But I want to thank you both for coming on the air with us today and telling us a little bit more about it.
Sure. Thanks, Bert. We appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime. And of course, folks, you can watch our live broadcast from there on October 7th. We'll have more information on our Facebook page to let you know what times we're going to be there. We're going to be doing some interviews with the kids as well as a lot of the exhibitors too. We're going to be walking around showing those at home what there is to offer here in Ottawa County. And if you have a son or daughter that's there, you can kind of keep an eye on them at the same time. So, folks, with that, we're going to sign off for today. But thanks for listening. I'm Bert Fall, and this has been Talk at 10 here on WPCR, PortClintonRadio.com.